perspective and context. It's very easy to look at a particular situation and think you know exactly what's going on and why it's going on because you have a complete view of everything. But I dare you to go to ground level and really understand the minor intricacies that are going on and taking place in a particular environment. You can go back up to 30,000 feet after that, and your whole perspective will be totally different. So many things play out unseen that create the circumstances that you see on a broader level, that it does an inherent disservice to any issue, to any problem, to think you know from the outside looking in. You can't possibly think you know, and you're not there on the ground to experience it for yourself. And until you do that, you have to be able to say to yourself, I'm working with limited information. I'm working with limited knowledge and perspective and context. Because in reality, context is everything.
I was young. I was still relatively young. But I remember watching a lot of what was going on, and I was like, oh, this is different. Yeah. This is different. Now, I don't think I was intellectually old enough to understand the dynamic and why it was happening the way it was happening. But I knew there was an undertone there that was different.
Right. Yeah. Well, you had a situation where we had almost a decade of crack cocaine.
Cocaine and other drugs have become a part of the business of gangs.
That's how it is to make money, though.
Where individuals went from hustling and, selling kibbles and bits to making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What do you do with all the money, though?
Stash it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For what?
You don't go back and make some more. Keep on stashing it till I come up. No big time.
So it changed the whole landscape.
Yeah.
Welcome to 63rd Street, home turf of the Rolling 60s, part of the largest street gang in all of Los Angeles, a gang called the Crips.
We handled gang members as victims one day and suspects the next day.
And my girlfriend got on the bus. Next you know, this dude put out a gun and put it to my head.
How many times you get shot?
Mom.
I'm built tough, no forward here. Rap top speed, no fourth gear. Dark side beats, no force here. Crew on top, no force, dear. And yo, I hate this beat, I hate these rhymes. The life I live is a life of crime.
And there's trouble wherever you go, regardless if you're crippin' or not. That's right. Just like these innocent people that's getting shot. They just stand in crip neighborhoods or blob neighborhoods, and they getting blasted on.
What's gonna make a difference?
I guess just get out the neighborhood. But you leave one neighborhood, you go to the next neighborhood, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing all over.
So now you got the worst people ever in our communities. We got crack babies who now 13, 14 years old. You got crack dealers.
You went from having, sawed-off 22s and little 25 automatics to having AK-47s and Uzis and Tech-9s, right? So what was happening in 1992 was crack cocaine destroying the neighborhood. The system's response to it was a war on drugs, which was essentially a war on people.
There's another warning about cocaine today. Crack now has spread to almost every American.
Instead of them bringing in, rehab centers, alternative healing technologies to help people get off, they basically locked up all of the people and gave people ridiculous sentences and times,
You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can't be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney and to have the attorney present during questioning.
You have a society of black people who have organized in prison, in jail, to where we're upset and we're mad because of the way we're treated as black people.
I had two brothers who went to prison. One of my brothers went to prison for 8 years. First time offense, was a college student at the time as well. So, these unfair sentences, all of the drug laws, it literally just destroyed the community.
If you can notice now, the younger generation is coming up. Boy said there's little kids out there now. And the only thing they hear is Rolling 60s, because that's where it's at.
They're taking fathers out of the homes. Many of these individuals are primary care providers for their kids.
We look out for each other. Half of us ain't got parents. Half of us ain't got nobody to give us nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't have my father right now. You know what? He been gone for at least 10 years, man. That's my pops right now.
You know, the housing authority laws, if somebody got caught hustling to try to make ends meet in the projects, whole families got kicked out. Grandmothers who've been there 15, 20 years, who was the rock, in most cases for the family, is now being kicked out of housing development, with no place to go. But then there's no infrastructure in the community that was, put in place to support people in the healing journey, right?
And we're just treated bad by every race and group of people.
Latasha Harlins, a black teenager, is shot and killed by a Korean store owner, Soonja-doo.
Angry protesters stormed through security checkpoints at the courthouse in Compton. They are still outraged over Judge Joyce Carlin's decision not to send Latasha Harlins' killer to jail. They are willing to go to jail to get their point across.
The black community is outraged.
A jury with no black members acquitted 4 Los Angeles police officers in the videotaped beating of Rodney King.
Wednesday evening about 5:30. Basically, the police chased one of the homies into this yard over here and slammed him and tried to manhandle him. And we were located in the vicinity. We came out in force as gang members. The community came out and backed us. More officers came. You had a tense situation on this corner right here.
A situation like that, normally you would get 2 cars. But with the Rodney King verdict being fresh, just handed down not an hour and a half before, they came in full force. The situation got tense. There was a lot of pushing and shoving. Once bottles and rocks and sticks were being thrown at the officers, they then went into a retreat mode and got out of there. And when they cleared that corner, what they left is, I'd say, well over 100 people very upset.
Neighborhoods erupted with anger after 4 white LA police officers were acquitted of assaulting motorist Rodney King.
Everybody could see the Rodney King beating. And the one thing we were all saying is, that's happened to me, that's happened to me.
The Rodney King recording was one of the first viral videos.
So everybody could relate to being beat and having no one to listen. So you must have been doing, even our family members be like, police don't do that, you must have been doing something. So to see that on film kind of sparked everybody.
On the corner of Florence and Normandie erupted in anger.
And then another thing too, we was actually mad about Latasha Harlins.
You know how it all started? The first thing when the girl got killed from the Orient.
I'm not surprised that the Koreans got targeted. They just don't seem to have any respect for the black community.
The Korean-owned businesses in the area have been hit.
Wow, 23 years down the drain.
Because of, blacks were so mad then, it was just, we going against everybody who's not black. Yeah.
Reginald Denny was the truck driver. We watched him by the millions. Here is the tape.
After truck driver Reginald Denny was pulled from his rig on the corner of Florence and Normandy, it was Watson who stomped on Denny's throat and held him there as rioters mercilessly tried to kill Denny.
The anger just flowed out into the streets of the city. Anybody who came to that intersection and it wasn't black, they were assaulted.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you become a convicted felon?
Excuse me?
If you don't mind me asking, how did you become a convicted felon?
By issuing out an ass whooping right here at this intersection.
So then, at that time, what was that motivation? Was it just pure rage?
Yes, hatred, yes.
I'm glad I wasn't here, but I kind of hate that I missed it. Yeah, I was a bad kid.
Gotcha.
I was a bad guy. I was sitting in Los Angeles County Jail, charged with 187 on homicide. And I fought that case for 4 years, thank God, and got acquitted. Still went to jail for 28 years. when the riots happened, when it actually took place happening, people were coming back from court like Florence and Normandy's on fire and blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, man, I wish I was out there with my friends. I wish I was out there tearing stuff up, but I'm glad that I wasn't there because Reginald Denny probably would have died.
That's heavy.
That's heavy.
That's heavy.
Reginald Denny would have probably died that day if I would have been out here.
Now let me ask you this question. If you had the chance to do it again, would you change anything?
No.
Why?
Because I wouldn't.
It's gotta go deeper than that. Just that's it. Just
change it for what? Change it for what?
No, I'm saying
the perspective is going to be the same. No, it wouldn't change.
You wouldn't change any of your actions?
No, I would cover my face so they wouldn't see it. They wouldn't recognize it was me.
Actually, I was stunned of the violence that occurred at that particular time.
I know that a lot of people retrieved guns or got guns during the, from the pawn shops and places like that, because that's when a lot of killings started too.
We had the rebellion in 1965. The same thing that contributed to the 1965 rebellion was the same thing that contributed to the 92 rebellion.
It was an opportunity for somebody to get free stuff.
Gotcha.
And when the word went out, you can get free stuff in stores and furniture and that kind of stuff. And you know what was really sad when you look back? They were stealing stuff that they could buy because it was their community.
It's not right. It's not right. It's not right what y'all doing. I came from the ghetto too. Same as all of you did. Y'all need to listen. But y'all mess up my business. And you call it black power. You mad at the white man. Why destroy my business? Why destroy my truck? Why steal my computer? I'm trying to make it. Could you understand that? Can y'all see it? I'm trying to make it.
I felt for a period of time that maybe we had lost it community-wide. I felt like we had lost the real mindset of being civil. It was very disheartening for me to see the overall violence. And you almost say, well, what are we going to do next? And how we get over this?
What's going on, folks? This is Colion Noir. If you like what you saw in this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button that should be located on the bottom left portion of the screen. I mean, come on, who are you fooling? I know you want to.